If you're seriously thinking about moving to Wichita and you haven't answered these 7 questions yet, you're not ready to start looking at homes. But let's fix that right now. Not everyone moving to Wichita needs a job here, but if you do, you need to understand what this market actually looks like before you commit. Wichita's job market is strong in specific lanes: aviation, aerospace, healthcare, manufacturing, and a growing business sector. If you're in one of those lanes, you're in the right city. If you're remote, Wichita is quickly becoming one of the best markets in this country for remote workers. Your income stays the same, and your cost of living can potentially drop pretty significantly. If you're job dependent and your field isn't represented here, that's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's a conversation worth having before you start packing. We did a full breakdown of who's actually hiring in Wichita right now. Link's going to be down below in the description. Job market answered. Question 2 is one most people skip, and it's the one that costs them the most time. Stick with me. Wichita's not a one size fits all scenario. Where you land in this metro should be driven by your specific situation, where your job is, what your commute tolerance is, and what your priorities are for you and your situation. The research process starts with your job location, with schools, whatever that may be. Map it. Then set your maximum commute time. You can do this with CanDrive to virtually test all of the major ways of getting around before you ever visit. That gives you a realistic commute picture, at least from the major ways of getting around, from before you consider an address, before you fall in love with a house. From there, every core suburb around Wichita has its own deep dive video on this channel. They're all linked down below in the description. Watch them. Use greatschools.org, niche.com, Community Crime Map, LexisNexis for any specific address you're considering. Only you can decide which community fits what ideally works for your needs. We've got CanDrive showing you Kellogg right now as we speak. Once you know where you're going to live, question 3 determines a lot which specific address you actually choose. Let's get after it. If you have kids, school districts is one of the most important variables in your address decision. And here's what most people get wrong. They research the district, not the specific address. 2 houses on the same street can be in different districts. You need to research the address, not just the general area. Yes, open enrollment is a thing, but it's not a guarantee. Here's how. Take any address you're seriously considering and run it through greatschools.org. It pulls ratings, parent reviews for the specific schools. That addresses feed into it. Cross-reference that with niche.com for a community level grade. Both are free. There's no sign up. So you can do your own research. No one else can make this call for you. Let's show you what we're talking about. So greatschools.org got plenty of options here: elementary, middle, high school, K through 12. As a whole, you can do public, private, whatever that looks like. Click in there, kind of give you an idea by the address, the city, zip code, any schools, programs. If you got a particular school in mind, and it'll give you an idea kind of what this stuff kind of looks like from the examples here. Their little tags, the name of the school, what the ratings look like, the progress, the test scores, the college readiness, so on and so forth. You'll get that real third party feedback from teachers, from parents, all of that. It's all here. Like I said, this and niche.com, no sign up. So you can do that research. So research tools covered. Question 4 is where most out of state buyers have no idea what's coming, the actual buying process when you're relocating. Here's where I want you to slow down and be completely honest with you, because this question has more layers than most people expect. Yes, buying remotely is possible. Digital signatures, wire transfers for your closing, ACH for your earnest money, video calls for walkthroughs, for home inspections, mobile notaries, mobile closings for the end. All of it's real and available in this market. But before you get comfortable with that answer, you need to think through some things most agents won't tell you up front. Virtual showings, what they cover, what they can potentially miss. Your agent can walk a property on video, call, show you the condition, the layout, the street, the neighborhood. What a camera cannot capture is a smell, mold, pet odor, years of cooking soaked into walls. Every person's situation, their sensitivities are going to be different. What might not be a deal breaker for me could be a deal breaker for you. These are potential deal breakers that photographs and video calls miss completely. Your house can look perfect on a screen and hit you the moment you walk through the door in person. That matters before you make an offer, not after. The drive. You need to experience the actual commute, not just look at it on a map, not just check it through CanDrive. Drive it yourself. At that time of day, you'd actually be driving it. That 10-15 minute commute on a Sunday afternoon is not the same commute on a Tuesday at 7:45 in the morning. You need to know what you're actually signing up for before you sign anything. Inspections. Most inspectors will allow us agents or a trusted person on your behalf to attend. Some will do a live video call walkthrough. With me, typically, I'll set that up. It's typically before the last 30 minutes of the scheduled inspection. But being there in person gives you context that a report and a video call might not necessarily give you up front. The sounds an HVAC makes when it kicks on, the feel of a floor that might be slightly too soft for you, the way a door doesn't quite close right. These are things that show up in person, but they might not necessarily show up as problems. Remote closings, important disclosure. Remote closings are common in Kansas and in many cases completely available, but not all lenders allow remote closings or mobile notary closings. It's going to vary from lender to lender. This is one of those things you need to confirm before you get started. Don't just assume it's an option. You don't want to find this out the week of closing that, hey, you need to be on an airplane. Bottom line, the remote process does work. It works best when you treat it as a starting point, not as a substitute for actually being here. If there's any way to visit before you make an offer, I'm always going to suggest you do that. Walk the property, drive the commute, stand in the neighborhood at various days and times of the week, of the day, of the evening. Get a feel for your potential amenities, the grocery store, your shops, your eats. Experience the things a screen can't show you in person. If visiting before you offer is generally not possible, just make sure we have that conversation in advance and we are able to let the lender know and make sure it's okay with them and to let the title company know in advance. It's all good, but we have to let them know in advance. Where we're sitting at right now, I mean, 9 days is the standard days on market. They're getting 100% of that list price. This information is coming to us as of end of May 2026, thanks to the WSU Center for Real Estate with their collaboration with our South Central Kansas multiple listing service. The process covered. Honestly, question 5 is actually the one that tells you whether now is actually the right time to make this move. Here's what the Wichita market looks like as of May 2026. The median sales price, $260,000. This is up 4.8% from a year ago. Homes selling in 9 days. Sales price at 100% of that list price. Active inventory up 3.7 year over year. This is just the Wichita metropolitan area. More options than last year. This comes from the WSU Center for Real Estate using the South Central Kansas MLS stats. The most accurate local source available. Not Zillow, not Redfin, the actual MLS data. 260,000, 9 days, 100% of the list price. The market is solid, but question 6 is what determines whether you are actually ready for all of it. Let's get into it. Being excited about moving to Wichita and being financially ready to move to Wichita are two different things. Here's what you need in place before you seriously start looking. Pre-approval, not pre-qualification. Pre-qualification is a rough estimate. Pre-approval means a lender has reviewed your income, your assets, your credit, and giving you a real number. You need this before your first showing appointment. Know your equity position. If you're selling a home in a higher cost market or a lower cost market for that matter, understand what you're walking away from before you commit to a price point here. The equity calculation changes. What's possible? Here in Wichita, significantly. Know your timeline. If you have a hard move date, your buying timeline. needs to work backwards from that. New construction and resale have very different timelines in this market. Knowing which one fits your situation before you start looking saves you time. My home buyer's rough draft is in the description, the QR code in the bottom left. There's no sign up required. We're not asking for an email, your phone number. Start there. Financially ready is question 6. Question 7 is the last one, and it's the one most people don't think to ask until something goes wrong. Not all real estate representation is the same. Relocation moves are a specific type of transaction that requires a specific type of agent. Here's what you're looking for: someone who works this market full time, not a part timer. Someone who's worked with out of state buyers before and understands the remote process. Someone who will walk properties on a video call in person and give you honest assessments and tell you when a house isn't worth making an offer on the facts. It's ultimately your call forever and always, but on the facts. What you're not looking for is someone who's going to tell you everything is great. Just great. A yes man, a yes woman, just to get you to the closing table. The right agent for a relocation moves, they act like a guide, not a closer. My contact information is down below in the description on the screen. If you want to have a real conversation about whether Wichita or one of the surrounding areas makes sense for your situation, that is what I'm here for. No pressure, honest answers. If you want to go deeper on any of these questions, every topic we covered today has content linked in the description. The suburbs all have their own playlist. It's all down there. It's on the channel. The pros and cons, the cost of living of Wichita, that breakdown is on the channel as well. When you're ready to have a real conversation about your move, call, text, email, mornings, afternoons, early evenings, weekends. I've got your back with relocation to Wichita and the surrounding areas. All the research tools and resources are down below as well. There's no sign up on any of it. You've got nothing to lose. Get down there, check that stuff out. And if you want to continue the learning journey, YouTube is suggesting this video right here. And if you want to hop into more content on Wichita, this playlist is showing right now, right there. We'll catch you all back here in the next one.